My name is Narayan Singh with Ladnek Limited. I'm joined here by my colleagues Jozan and Miss Marilyn. Today we are looking at a few different aspects of the janitorial industry. We want to talk about some of the products we use out there, equipment, chemicals, the procedures in cleaning, and some of the different methods in the process. So with that said, we would touch base on our orientation process. And our orientation process starts from the office here, joined by Jozan, our lead person, and then from time to time Miss Marilyn gets involved too as well. Now both individuals here are area managers, and you'll see these guys in the field, and they're the ones who will be working side by side together with everyone to accomplish our daily task. As I said, Ladnek Limited has been in the industry and around for over 10 years. We clean over 2.5 million square feet of space. We're specialized in janitorial. We do pressure washing. We do all sort of maintenance, carpet care. We do sanitizing, electrostatic spraying, and much more. So today we're going to talk a little bit with Jozan here about in her process of training with current employees and then new starts, so new employees and current employees. So Jozan will tell us a little bit about what are the procedures and the chemicals and equipment we use on a day-to-day cleaning methods. So Joe, let's talk a little bit about the products you use and what we introduce to the cleaners. Down here, I know we have the MSDS, that's one of the things. We have the color coding system. We have the different color of cloth. Then we have gloves. We have the sanitizing products. We have disinfectant for mopping and spraying, sanitizing, toilet bowl cleaners, soap. We have furniture polish, and we have sanitizing liquid. In the corner, we have some of the sanitizing machines we use, and then we have sanitizing wipes. Then we have our vacuum. These are the common vacuums you'll see we use out there. This is one right here. Then we have the upright vacuum. And if you look on the other side here, we have one of the HEPA ready vacuum. It's a wet dry system. Then for a floor care mopping system, then we lead to safety is very important. So we touch base on caution signs, wet floor signs, mop bucket. We have the combat brooms, dusters, dust mop. We have the dustpan and the broom. So with that said, we'll touch base with Jozan here, and she'll give us a little insight about the different products we use.
Hi everyone, another purpose for the orientation is to introduce you all to the chemicals that we use, because we do not use normal off-the-shelf chemicals. So with that being said, the GSC, this is our germicide spray. We use this for sanitizing. You know, with the COVID-19 restrictions right now, everything is sanitizing. So this is for all the high-touch areas, like the doorknobs, the light switches, countertops. This is what we use to sanitize. With that being said, when you use these products, you spray directly onto the cloth, not on the surfaces. Another product we have here is our glass cleaner, the Maxim the glass cleaner, right? So this is what we use to do all the glass cleaners, same as procedure as the GSC. Spray on the cloth, wipe the glass surfaces. The only purpose for this is for the cleaning of the glass. This is our restroom cleaner. This is what we use for inside of the bowls. You flush first, wait until all the water comes down, then we apply. We use the toilet brush, scrub the inside of the bowl. This is our cream product. This is a product that we use in the washrooms and also in kitchens. This is what we use to clean the washroom sinks, the countertops, and the kitchen sinks. Right. So this is our hand washi. This is our hand soap that we use. This product is our Glimmer. This is our stainless steel product. We use this for all the kick plates, all the stainless steel bins, hand towel dispensers. Once it's stainless steel, this is the product that we use. Control. This is the spray that we apply under the dust mop before we start dust mopping our areas.
Yeah.
Cream coat is our furniture polish. This is what we use to polish all the hard surfaces. So this is bouquet surf. You may get it on your location in bouquet cherry or bouquet lemon. This is our all-purpose disinfectant. We use it on desks as well and countertops. This is the hand sanitizer that we carry. It kills 99% of the most common germs that may cause illnesses in less than 15 seconds. We also carry True Mist sanitizing liquid. It also kills 99% of viruses and bacteria.
So Josan, with all the explanation and all the different products we carry, here there must be some sort of policy that governs the usage and the safety mechanism of all the different products. So we lead to the janitorial and Ladnek material safety and data sheet.
Well,
Now, on this sheet and sheets and booklet, you'd find all the different products we carry. And this is part of your orientation process, what you would
Yes.
educate your new employees and present employees about the different products.
yes. In every janitorial closet, there will be a MSDS, telling them what the chemicals consist of, so they will know if they are asked any questions by the safety on the location, what if they are flammable, non-flammable. So in each and every location, they will find an MSDS, telling them everything that I explained to them about the chemicals.
All right, folks, this is very important to know that MSDS is one of the most important things to have when you're dealing with chemicals and products and equipment. Now, for instance, let's say Josan is going through a training process and then you have a new employee, the orientation process is all done, and then for some reason or the other, there's some sort of cross-contamination where an employee decided to mix two different chemicals, put it in a bottle and decide to use that, and for some reason a customer in the building or somebody, a maintenance person or somebody else in there decides to try to use the product, but they think it's a glass cleaner, but for some reason the employee did not know, and she decided, says, well, I don't have a bottle, or I didn't reach out to my supervisor, and then she decided to mix chemicals, and while using the chemical, the press the spray trigger and the stuff went in her eyes, and then eyes start turning reds and stuff like that. This is some of the things that the MSDS carries. So if you have the emergency services that comes by, these are the things they look for, the MSDS, what product, what it consists of, so they know how to treat what they're dealing with. And it also tells you the guidelines that if this does happen to you or something does happen to you, this is the process of treating that particular instance.
With regards to that, we do not advise that the employees mix chemicals. We do not ever mix chemicals. You usually dilute chemicals. But our chemicals, we do not even dilute. The only thing you will dilute will be the bouquet surf when you add it to the water to mop. But we do not advise mixing of chemicals in any way. But in Ladnek, we also provide Ppe. So before starting a contract, they are provided with a face shield. So this will protect them from any chemical that they are spraying onto the cloth. Nothing will be coming back onto them. They will be provided with a face shield.
So you're saying that our products here are ready to use? It's already pre-mixed?
Yes, ready to. We do not mix chemicals.
Okay, so it's pre-mixed and ready to use. You just have to use the application.
Yes, it is.
Okay, very good. Now, some of the other things that you'll find in the building that when you're executing and the training process is going on, or to a day-to-day establishment where things are being used, things like equipment and rooms and stuff like that. So you want to just touch a little bit on some of the things that your cleaners will expect and your janitors and custodians will expect in the buildings.
But one of the most common things you get in the building will be a dust mop. That's the reason I was saying about the control. This goes with the dust mop. Before you start to dust mop the area, you apply control to the bottom of the dust mop, and then you proceed to dust mop the area. After dust mopping the area, you lift the dust mop a little way off the surface level and you shake it. You come with your broom and scoop, you pick up the dust that you just dust mop the area. The buckets, everything will be color coded on the location. Right? The mops will be color coded red for washrooms, the color code blue will be for offices. Everything should be color coded on the location as well. We use this for high dusting always have on your Ppe with regards to doing the high dusting, because we don't want it to be high dusting and then dust coming back in the face. Hence the reason why we provide the face shield as well.
All right, so then we have the multicolored broom down there. What's that?
That is the cobweb broom, same thing as high dusting. This is a cobweb broom, this is just a harder fix with that.
So that's for higher areas?
Yeah.
So you'll be able to reach higher
more,
areas?
This is an extendable cobweb broom.
Yeah. So let's say I'm new, I'm accustomed, I'm home, I'm just using a regular broom. I come to work, I'm in an environment, I don't know what's a dust mop. So the dust mop process is you come in different sizes. You could start from 18, 24, and 36 inches. This is a new normal routine. You'll go catch areas like this. And what Joanne is trying to tell you is that, and demonstrate to you, is that you go to a corner like this and then you shake.
Yeah, not so high.
And when you shake like that, then the next process is that, let's say there's debris and dust and stuff and cobwebs and everything there, then you go up and then you sweep that up with your dustpan and your broom.
Yes.
Yeah? Now, I go to buildings and other buildings, not buildings we clean, and I see that there's a janitor there that's mopping floors. One of the most important things that when you're mopping floors in a public area where you have people walking by in different departments and from the public and stuff, one of the common things that you, for your safety, the public safety, some of the things that you want to post are things like what?
Well, I advise the ladies that even if a cup of water falls on the floor before you mop, you get your wet floor sign, safety first. You get your wet floor sign, you place it there, you mop the area. Make sure, do not ever mop without having your wet floor sign.
And then we want to touch in some of the things that relates to our day-to-day cleaning in terms of sanitizing surfaces and some of the tools that we'll use. So I see you here, you have 3 different colors of cloth. You want to just mention to us what are the different colors for and where will we use the cloth?
The different colors, as I say, everything is color coded. So the white, you will use the white cloth to clean eating areas or office equipment. The blue cloth is used for wiping off the desk in offices, and the red cloth is what we use in the washrooms.
Okay. Now, we were talking about using in the washrooms. What are some of the things that you would use it for in the washrooms? Would you use a red cloth in the counter where everybody's washing their hands in the sink and stuff like that? Or would you use this to wipe the commodes, the toilet, the urinal? Would I use a blue? For what reason? The different colors, as we mentioned.
No,
in the
we use red.
Important.
We use red in the washrooms only. Not meaning that you're using one cloth in the washroom. So you will have a cloth for your toilet, your bowl, your seats, everything, your tank, and then you will have a cloth for the washrooms, the sink, the faucets. You use a separate red cloth for the faucets, right? And these are, we also use disposable cloths. So you discard of these cloths. Right?
And then I come across a blue cloth. Where would I use a blue cloth?
As I said, the blue, we use the blue for the offices only. So when you come in the office, you will use that for the desk. The white, you also use it in the office, but that is to wipe like the office equipment, like the printers, the phones. That's where you use the white. So hence you will get these 2 cloths will be in our office area.
And where COVID is involved now, there's a lot of sanitizing, desk-to-desk, surface, high-touch areas. Which one of the cloths do you think we'll probably use in common areas in public spaces, like doorknobs and stuff like that?
Now, to me, you will have somebody doing sanitizing alone, right? So you're using your GSC for sanitizing, and then you're disposing, because now you're not using a cloth to sanitize an area and then you're not coming back to use the same cloth to sanitize. So you could use, to me, you could use the red cloth if you want to sanitize here, because you're going to dispose of it one time and the person who's doing the sanitizing is not going to be the same person who will be doing the washrooms. So there's no way that they will actually mix up the cloth. So they use the red cloth, sanitize the areas, and then you can discard of it.
Would you recommend wearing PPE when you're doing this process
Always.
and sanitizing? So
Always wear PPE.
Part of PPE would be your gloves.
Your PPE will be your gloves,
your mask,
your face shield.
So folks, I think this kind of covers some of our basic guidelines in the orientation process of a new employees start or current employees that we continue our training process. As I said, we follow the ISSA guidelines in terms of custodian technical training, and our employees and our managers, our area managers, our building supervisors and team leads are in the process of doing these different training and covering all the different aspects of the ISSA technician and custodial training. Hello folks, we are joined by our senior technician here at Ladnek, Sahaile, and then some of the common things as equipment and tools we use throughout our day-to-day basis in executing our jobs are the vacuums. So today, one of the vacuums we normally would use is an upright vacuum, and then we have, you'll find a dry vacuum or a wet dry vacuum. So today we're going to demonstrate one of the upright vacuum, and it's the brand here is a Bissell brand. So Saile will touch a little bit more about how the vacuum really works. So Saile, in this case here, we're looking at, it's not an ordinary vacuum. You'll see there's a bag to replace and stuff like that. In this case, it's a container you empty. So you want to just demonstrate to that first how that works?
For the filter system.
Removal of the container, yeah.
Alright, so at the top of the vacuum, you see there's a release button. This is to remove the container. So just alright.
How would you empty that?
Also at the bottom there's a to push the dump to release all the debris and stuff. I'm gonna pull it back up.
And that's how you normally empty it.
Yeah.
Does this particular vacuum carry any sort of filtration system in this compartment that we need to change?
No, the primary filter is near the motor.
Okay.
So that's at the base.
All right, so we'll take a look at that. And then you have a what? You have a hose system here.
Yeah, you have a hose
connects
system that connects to the base of the vacuum.
So,
alright. And also this goes to the handheld attachment, so you could be able to vacuum up.
all right, so do edge vacuuming and stuff like that.
Yeah. Alright.
So this part connects to the canister and then goes to the motor there for a vacuum system.
Yeah.
Now I'm seeing a blue button and a red button. What does that do?
So the blue button is to adjust the angle at where you're vacuum at. Alright. And you head straight up to close it. And the red button is your on and off.
So that's your power switch.
Yeah.
All right, so an individual coming across, a customer comes down and says there's a water leak in the building. There's a water leak in the building. Can you suck up some water?
No.
How would we separate to know that this is a dry vacuum or a wet vacuum? Is it written anywhere, or is it something that comes from the manager or your supervisor in the orientation process or in the training process that the custodian will know?
Well, manufacturer spec is not a wet and dry vacuum. It is a dry vacuum only, and you can tell mainly from there not being any filter bag or any float device to stop water from going into the motor itself. So, and at the bottom there's no kind of squeegee to suck up water. There's only a brush, and that's for mainly carpet.
So in this case, our staff will let the customer know that we don't have a wet dry vacuum there, and then from there they'll contact the supervisor and make arrangements to get the necessary equipment to do that. Yeah. So let's take a look at the brushes in the bottom. Now, does these things they wear quickly? How do you place them? Is it a certain, it goes for a year, or is this something, it's a maintenance thing that you look at that required by managers to report to you for servicing? How does that work?
The brush turns in a clockwise motion, which creates a powerful suction to the tube where the dust is trapped in the canister.
Perfect. All right, so two of the common things that I may walk into a building or a supervisor would mention to us that the cleaner is complaining about is that the vacuum is not picking up. There's two different things could happen in that case. It's either the beater bar here, the brushes are worn out, right here, or there could be a clog in the system, so the vacuum wouldn't be able to pull up here to go in the canister. Because they say they're passing over the same area and things are not happening. It's not picking up anything, no debris, anything at all. So you would agree with me that this might be an issue where either the brushes are worn out or there's a clog in the system that avoids the vacuum from sucking and sending into the canister. All right, so this is another unit I'd like to demonstrate here, and this is one of the other common vacuums that you would see in our buildings on your first day of work. So in this case, this is a wet and dry vacuum. It says heavy duty, and it clearly says up here it's a wet dry vacuum. So this means that you could use it for dry vacuuming and also for sucking up water and stuff like that. So if the customer comes and says, like in the first case when you were using an upright vacuum, and the customer comes and says there's a water leak, I'd like you to suck up some water up there, this is one of the vacuums you'll be using up there. Yeah? What about if there is a cut in the line? Like let's say there's a cut in the line, the power line here, there's a cut here, and for some reason our cleaner doesn't have, or custodian doesn't have the chance to report this to the immediate supervisor, and they decide to take a piece of tape and band this. Is this acceptable on OSHA standards?
No, it's not acceptable. The best thing is to report it and have the power cable be replaced.
This could also lead to
shorts and fire.
Or you could be electrocuted, fall in some water if you're doing stuff, and water could penetrate into the lines. Yeah, so that's a safety issue.
Yes.
So this should be reported directly to your supervisor and then sent to the office for repairs.
Right.
Yeah. So in this case now, we'd like to demonstrate now what do you do in a dry process and what do you do on a wet process in this particular vacuum. So we'll start from here. What is this stuff here?
All right. So at the front of the vacuum, you have where you have a power button, and you also have where your hose attached. All right. And
so then we look at the inserts now to open up there to see what's in there. Yeah. So we'll open up here. What is this big unit here? This is the what? The motor itself?
This is your motor, which creates a vacuum here, which the only way for air to come in is here.
So the motor separates itself?
Yes, it separates.
All right, so this is a whole different thing here. It's pretty heavy though, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then you get into this here and there's a basket here.
Yeah.
What is this stuff? Is this a filter system?
Right, so this is your HEPA filter.
Okay.
It's designed for water and also dust as well.
Okay.
This is your basket, I would say.
To catch debris and stuff like that?
This is to avoid the filter from collapsing onto itself, right? So this stays here to keep the filter.
So I could use this filter can be used for both dry and wet vacuuming system.
Yes.
What about if I put this filter in here and for some reason I'm not getting all the suction I want? Let's say I put the filter and the filter is like this. And you're not getting the suction, which means it's not sealed properly. Yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
So the easiest way to test that if the filter is not in properly, you can put your hand to see if it gets in suction. If you're not getting suction, feel around to see if the air pulls in or what.
Right. So let's say we did some water cleanup and stuff like that, and I know it's getting close to 6 o'clock. My shift ends at 6 o'clock, and we were working all day, getting things done, trying to get the garbage out, and the last thing we did is some water. Can I leave the water overnight and all this debris like this in my closet? Or is it expected for us to dump that, wash the filter out, and then put it to dry?
Yes, it is expected to wash the filter out after use to prevent it from getting marked up with any kind of dust and debris or chemical
smells and stuff like that. All right, so we clearly understand that the filtration system and this, the cleaning mechanism, right? The cleaning of the tank itself, the canister here, right? We also learned about the heavy duty motor, and there's two systems in this, a dry and a wet. We also touched based on the power cord system, yeah? Can we touch base on the connection of the water, the vacuum hose?
All right, so you have your vacuum end. This goes in one way, as you can see from the release button. So this goes in and lock, right? To release, you just press and pull, all right?
All right. It's pretty simple, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right. And then, and this, what about if I turn this like this? And I put this like this and I have the power cord in front. Is that acceptable? It's designed for the back where you'll be able to pull on this side.
It's expected of you to have the power button at the front where the hose is, so you can easily turn off the vacuum if anything happens. Yeah, so just so that you won't be pulling on the cable.
Okay. So this is the correct way to mount this?
With the power button facing the hose.
Another thing we run into in the field there is our staff will call and says, you know, I did all what you said. We make sure everything's all sealed with the filtration system. It's all clean, but I'm not getting the suction I want. I'm not getting the suction that I need enabled for me to execute my job in order to vacuum. They could also said the reason why that area wasn't vacuumed last night is because of this issue. What are some of the things you may want to touch base on?
All right, so for testing for suction, if it's the hose, the first thing you want to do is release the hose and see if you're getting suction here.
Right.
If you're getting suction here, you know it's used in the hose.
Right.
So you need to check the hose to see if there's anything.
So some of the things you want to check on the ends of the hose, you may want to check, and then you identify here that there's some sort of paper stuck in there that would avoid
proper suction.
Proper suction.
Okay.
So this is something that our regular custodian staff can do to remove, or this is something that you need to bring in?
No. Pertaining to the hose, you could diagnose it yourself, and if you can see the issue and you could remove it, you could. Put that on fire.
So this might be caused from vacuuming in a corner or under a desk or something like that, and you didn't see it. Something you didn't see, and it just sucked in there.
Yeah.
And this could just solve the issue and save you a run to come to the office and write up a ticket to get it serviced. It's as simple as this. Yeah? Well, I think we pretty much covered the wet dry vacuum and this aspect, and this is one of the wet dry vacuums. So we'll lead to another one now to see how that operation works. So we are here again with our senior technician Siley, and we're touching base on one of the other vacuums that we'll commonly see in our buildings. This product is a HEPA ready vacuum, and it's a wet dry vacuum. In this case here, Siley, the other vacuum previously that we demonstrate, there was a sign that tells our staff that it's a wet dry vacuum. In this case, how would we identify that this vacuum is a wet dry? Is this something that we'll put a label on if it's not posted? So that could help with the staff saying that if there's an issue that requires any sort of wet process, that they would know that it's a wet dry. So it will make sense to put a sign if it's not posted.
Yeah, we'll put a label if there's no indication that it's a wet dry vacuum. And even if you're not sure, you can always
consult with your supervisor.
Yeah, go to your supervisor, or you could check your manual to see its uses, whether it's used for wet and dry.
Now, in the staging process of starting a new account, or if we send a vacuum to a building, is this something common that you would see the manual going to the building or in the shelves there for the cleaner to know that, or staff to know that it's a wet dry vacuum? Is this something that you would keep at the office and then you inform your supervisor or the building manager who manages that account that this is a wet dry vacuum?
The manual will be there on locations just for you to
refer to.
Yeah, to refer to if you have any questions or what the parts are.
All right, so let's take a look inside and see what this consists of, this machine.
All right.
So we know what we're dealing with.
Okay, so to open this type of vacuum, there's 2 clips on the side, and you lift. All right.
Okay.
And I'll take it off to the side.
So this canister, or this vacuum itself, I'm not seeing a basket system like the other one that tells you there's a filter in there that will collect the debris and stuff like that, both dry and wet.
Yeah.
In that process. This is a little bit different, isn't it?
Yeah, this one is different. This one carries a filter bag, which you can see here. And I'll demonstrate how to put the bag.
Yeah, let's take a look and see how that happens. So why would you put this bag? This is for dry vacuuming or it's for wet?
Yeah, this is for dry vacuuming. When you're using it for a wet application, you remove the bag.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's take a look at the installation so our staff will know what's the process of installing this.
Okay. Just bring it through. Right, so at the top of the vacuum bag there's a cardboard which houses a rubber ring to seal it properly to the inlet of the vacuum. Right? So first you insert the bag and slide the cardboard over the inlet.
So what about if the vendor is out of stock and we can't find this bag and stuff like that? Can I use any sort of substitution, or I just need to have this particular bag for this unit to work?
Yeah, you need this specific bag for this vacuum.
Okay.
Alright?
Alright, so I could just use this for a month, and when things start piling up and vacuuming and filling up and stuff like that, I just go ahead and order a new one for my supervisor.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, cool. So in the dry method there, system, and let's go back to the wet system. So we'll remove this if you're going to do wet vacuuming.
Yeah, for wet vacuuming, you remove the bag like this there.
Okay.
Alright, I'll take out the bag.
And earlier today I saw that you were messing with this system here and you lifted this here and there was something like a filter system in here.
Alright,
What's that for?
At the back of the vacuum, this is your secondary filter. The vacuum bag is your primary and this is your secondary. If any dust was to escape the first bag, it will be trapped in this one. This is to be prevented from getting into the motor.
So this is the HEPA system?
Yeah.
Okay, this might be the HEPA in the combination that consists of that.
Yeah.
Now I also saw that when you close this and then you turn the unit around and we saw this here.
Right.
This here is the same filtration or this is a separate filter?
This is the same filter, this is just the back side of it. So if you're running into suction issue and you know your bag is empty and it can't be something else, you could always check at the bottom of the vacuum to see if it's at the primary and secondary filter.
So we're looking at two different manufacturers developing a vacuum. This is this whole sealing process versus the other one where the unit itself is exposed and you have a float system that goes in there and tells you that, hey, the tank is full, we need to empty from there. Is there certain sounds that you would hear in the motor itself that tells you we need to empty? Is there a louder sound, a softer sound?
So alright, how to say this?
So you would in fact find a louder sound when it's
you
when the
will
tank
get
is full?
a different tone when the vacuum is empty. But when using it for water, you will hear like a deeper tone.
Right.
But as the vacuum gets more full, you will hear a more high pitch sound.
All right. Is there any sort of bleeding units or any sort of holes that's in the vacuum system for purging, just in case it's full and you don't get it's full and you don't know about it and it starts purging itself? Is there any sort of identification in this vacuum that our staff will need to know, or you just have to just listen to the sound of the motor?
So, I feel the first exit point for water, if it, Alright, so if you're not aware that the sound is changing and you don't know that the vacuum is being full up, the first exit point for the water will be at the back by the secondary filter. So as the water comes up, it's going to find its way out here. Right? So that's your first indication that it's overfull. And
that's the last thing you want to happen, because you don't want to make sure it doesn't fill that way. You want to be able to identify by the sound of the thing. And that comes all in training and the orientation process on how the vacuum system and the equipment work. Yeah? Now I'm seeing here today that this vacuum comes with a wand system, right? I think it's a detachable wand too as well.
Yeah.
And then down here you have the floor tool. So this is a floor tool that comes in a wheel system. Now this makes it easier in terms of suction in order for us to vacuum and carpet. Because if you don't have it yourself and it doesn't run, it makes it difficult for you to move forward.
To slide you one up.
Right. So, and then you have the brush system here. So the brush system is for what? It's for concrete, or is this for carpet?
This is designed for carpet and also I want to say tile, but more dust. For more dust applications.
How do we do installation? And you can see here, there's little indentations here in this part of the brush, and then this one here doesn't have it at all. What does that mean, and how do we identify? And in terms of, this is something that our staff would need to know, because if there's a water situation, there's a leak or something, this will automatically have to come out in order to use a different squeegee system or a brush system to suck that water up, because we can't pick up water in this, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you want to show us how that we install it?
So if you're not sure as to which one goes, if the notch one is at the front or at the back, there's difference in length. So the longer one always goes to the front. Same with the squeegee itself. There's a long and short one.
Okay.
Right.
So the reason why this cuts are in the front, indentations are in the front, is that for whatever as you go forward, things will go here, and then it'll block with this here, and then go into the system.
Up the
Make sense? You want to do a quick installation here so we kind of know how this goes in.
Okay.
Because as we understand, your supervisor or your lead will probably not be in the area or not be there available right away, and your customer is calling you and says there's a roof leak, and we need to switch this out in order to help and fix that. So our staff will need to know how to do this. So just point out to us now how the installation goes. Let's say this is already installed, so you're going to install this and remove it to suck up the water. How does that happen?
So you're installing this.
Simple as that, huh?
Yeah.
So this is pretty much designed for carpet.
Yeah.
Right. So we have a water leak. How do we remove this? Is there any certain part that you have to remove first in order to install the squeegee? How do we do that?
Yeah. To remove the brush, it could be done by hand or a small flathead, which could make it a lot easier. So basically you're just putting the screwdriver into the crease, creating a gap for the brush to come out.
Easy as that.
Right, and slides out. You do it to the front side. Ready. Alright. The brush comes out.
And then we got to go ahead and install. And as you said, it's already custom made for the different areas.
Lengths, yeah.
All right, so you want to go ahead and install that?
Okay. Alright, so the longer one to the front. Take the rigid sides to the outside.
Okay.
Right. And it goes in by just clicking.
Wow, as simple as that. So pretty much, folks, we cover the squeegee system for doing wet suction, and then here we have the brush system. Again, we cover the filtration, which is the bag system. We looked at the filter today. We look at the operation, how this works. We look at the filter that combines together with the bag to do a dry. We look at the canister. It's a HEPA filter system. We look at the wand, and we have the whole system. So we covered all the different parts of this vacuum in the operation of our day-to-day process in the field that our cleaners will need to know.